Overwatch 2 retail patch notes, June 13th, 2023. Welcome to Season 5. Join Tracer and her friends as they embark on an adventure in a fantasy-themed role-playing game as you progress with the Battle Pass and guide Tracer while she works to save the magical kingdom of Overland from the threat of the Demon Lord Reinhardt. Well, okay. Summer Games, Mission Thematic, and Overwatch 2's prop hunt. Actually gonna look forward to that. Okay. Challenges, Lifeweaver updated. Okay. Incomplete weekly challenges will no longer reset to 0. 100% of the progress will made in weekly challenges in the previous week will be kept and carried over. Wait, what? Incomplete weekly challenges will no longer reset to 0. 100% of the progress made in weekly challenges in the previous week will be kept and carried over. Wait. Wait, okay, so hang on. There's two ways this can be interpreted. This could be interpreted that you get, like, a previous week, so you can finish the previous week before you start the new one, or what it means is that it just carries it over right away. So like if you had 6 out of 7 arcade games and the week resets, you got 6 out of 7 now for the current week, if that makes any sense, right? Like there's two different ways I think you can interpret that. You think it's number 2, it just carries over. That is a good change regardless, because like now you don't have to like regrind again, you know what I mean? That is a very, very good change. The number 1, I could figure out, like, you can basically hop on once a month and just farm everything out. So you're probably right, it's number 2. But that is actually a really nice change. I like that. All weekly challenges requiring wins have been converted to complete games, and wins grant double progress. That's awesome. I hated the flex and win 7 games or whatever it was. That was ass. I hated doing that. This is actually, unironically, a kind of a big one. On Fire system. On Fire returns to highlight your incredible plays with these new features, but it's not just returning, it's actually upgraded. New state, blazing. What's better than being on fire? Being even more on fire. A team's most exceptional playmaker will begin blazing. There's so much potential with this. Blazing cannot be maintained as easily as regular fire, so you'll need outstanding play to keep the heat on. Reignited visuals and sound effects. On Fire returns to the hero portrait and the scoreboard with new animations. Fire makes its debut on the kill feed as well. Okay, so I saw how this works. I didn't record anything because like I said before, I haven't been excited recently, but I saw how this works. And basically, your On Fire is going to appear on your border, like on your character, but also in the kill feed and also on the scoreboard. And then think about like how the old On Fire system used to work. And then think of like what is Super Saiyan 2. That's blazing. And so it goes from like the aura of like fire, fire, fire to like, holy shit, now it's really on fucking fire. And the same thing happens on the scoreboard and on the kill feed. It looks really cool. It's like not insane. It's not insane, but it's nice to have the system back. You know what I mean? It's nice. So, catching fire, killing enemies that are on fire grants fire. Oh yeah, that's the other thing that's kind of cool. So like you can steal the on fire from an enemy player. So like if someone on the enemy team is on fire and you kill them, you like get a big chunk to your on fire. Does that make sense? It's kind of like you kill the carry, so like, you know, it kind of like snowballs. It's weird, but it actually kind of works. Fan the flames. The fire has spread to more than just Genji players. Beyond eliminations and damage, fire comes from mitigated damage, saves, healing, assists, capturing contesting objectives, boosted damage, and crowd control. Pay attention to which heroes on your team are on fire and help them out to increase your final score. So this means like if you're taking a bunch of damage with Ryan with your shield, you get on fire, or defense matrix, or damage boost with mercy, or res, or just healing your teammates, or throwing an anti-grenade. All of those things rack up towards the on fire, which is cool, because before in the past it was mostly like doing damage. Now it's like everything, if that makes sense. Okay. Matchmaking improvements. Added a matchmaker functionality that creates matches with a narrow range of player skills. The initial tuning of the system at the start of the season will not be as aggressive, but we'll be making continual tuning changes throughout the season. Nothing new there. The matchmaker now prioritizes placing smaller groups with wide skill ranges into the same match, which means solo players will see a lower chance of being placed in those matches. Okay, good changes. Matchmaking bug fixes. Addresses some issues with backfills and quick play that it creates some... cause backfill to take a long time or never occur. I remember that bug. I can't believe that just got fixed. That was like... I remember that like a month and a half ago. Fix an issue where the matchmakers sometimes initialize new players' competitive MMRs to a value that did not reflect their skills. Players will continue to adjust their accurate MMR as they continue to play. That's interesting. That's a very interesting wording. I wonder if that's for Smurfs or for actual new players getting rated too highly. Food for thought. FFA player skill ratings. This is FFA. I don't really care about FFA, to be honest with you. Competitive play updates. Ranked inactivity changes. Players that not play any matches during the previous competitive season will become inactive. Inactive players do not have a visible skill tier in division. Each role in role queue can become inactive separately, while in open queue, a player can only have one rank that can become inactive. Once an inactive player returns and achieves a competitive update after winning 5 games, their skill tier in division will become visible again. So if you go inactive for a season, you have to do placements. That's really interesting. That's okay. Competitive Mystery Heroes. Competitive Mystery Heroes returns for an entire season of randomized heroes action. The challenges are also back, providing mysterious titles. Yo, wait a minute. Actually, fucking nice. Season 5 has Competitive Mystery Heroes again. You know what? I'm in. I'm down. I'm down. That sounds awesome. Actually, unironically, there's some good game modes this season. Competitive bug fixes. Improved how the matchmaker computes in its initial skill estimation, aka MMR, for a player queuing for their first competitive game. Okay, interesting. Alright, let's get into the actual hero updates now. Junker Queen. Ultimate cost increased by 15%. Much needed. It was kind of a little bit out of hand. Commanding Shout. Temporary health reduced from 200 to 150. Comments. The last round Junker Queen changes increased both her sustained damage and self-healing. Hence, she ended up staying alive in the fight longer, which was the intent, but naturally her ultimate charge became charges more quickly on average as a result. The passive Adrenaline Rush healing becomes more potent and has been more interesting for gameplay as it's tied to landing her abilities. To bring her survivability more in line, we're shifting more of her power out of the Commanding Shout. Temporary health gain for Junker Queen herself. Actually, good change. Unironically, good change. We'll see. We'll see how it goes, but good change. Yeah, I don't know about this one. Roadhog, take a breather. Now amplifies healing received by 50% for 2.5 seconds after finishing Take a Breather. So Roadhog's going to go from an ult battery to an ult generator. We would like Roadhog to be even sturdier, as he's an immobile tank with minor damage blocking ability. His self-sustainability is already quite powerful when alone, so this is more of a team-oriented change. Take a breather briefly increases healing received, will enable the support heroes on Roadhog's team to help him recover more quickly. You're gonna Roadhog kind of low and he starts healing and like everybody goes like, no, stop. He's just gonna be instantly full health, just instantly. It's gonna, oh, oh no, oh no. You know what this also means? That you basically, you can I actually unironically think that you could maybe play a, I'm gonna dub it, self-healing playstyle, or the healer Roadhog's playstyle, in which all you do is you basically try to CC people with your chain hook, and then spam take damage, heal up like crazy constantly, and farm your ult, because your ult is 8 seconds and actually kind of insane. So instead of playing Roadhog in the neutral, you're just basically farming his ultimate, kind of how you used to play for Genji. Cassidy Magnetic Grenade. Okay, this is an interesting one, because I'm actually not sure if it works this way. I think I'm getting baited by some tweets, because I didn't try any of this. No longer has a maximum projectile travel fall off of 10 meters. Oh, so it does work that way. Alright, you know what? Hang on, I'll show you after. The projectile now magnetizes toward an enemy target from 1.5 meters away and chases them up to 1 second. Impact damage increased from 0 to 10. Explosion damage reduced from 120 to 70. Stuck target now has their movement slowed by 30%, and the stuck targets are affected by a hindered status effect, interrupting and preventing movement abilities from being activated. I think that's really fucking dumb. I think it's not going to be fun to play against, and I gotta show you something. Hang on. I gotta show you some wild shit. Where is it? Okay. This is Cassidy in the new patch. I didn't play on it. I didn't wanna, but this is what the grenade looks like now.
That's a bee in your bonnet. 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 That's a bee.
I thought it was a troll tweet. I didn't think it was real. I didn't test anything. I got invited to, but I honestly, you know my sentiments recently, so I didn't really care. But yeah, that's real. That's a thing. Comments, the overall goals for magnetic grenades are to shift its use from purely damage into more of a utility, and changes deployment behavior from a close lock-on to more of an aimed projectile that magnetizes if it gets close to an enemy. The previous stuck banner high text alert and confused tracer's pulse bomb message, so it is mobility locking status effect referred to as hindered. So basically, if you didn't understand what I showed you, is it doesn't start the heat seeking until it's close enough, and then it will travel for a meter. So in theory, you could throw that grenade across the map, hit somebody with it, they get slowed by 30%, can't use a movement ability, and get one tapped. That is theoretically possible. The anti-widow nade. That is actually kind of funny. I don't know. It looks interesting. It'll definitely be fun. I don't know if it's going to be good for the game, but it will definitely be a fun time. Hanzo, Sonic Arrow. Impact sound effect now plays for enemies. Visual effect is now briefly visible to enemies when first deployed. So this is actually, I haven't seen any of these changes, but this sounds like a really good change. I can't tell you how many times I myself or have seen my teammates walk into a pre-fired headshot because of a Sonic Arrow they didn't know was there. So pretty big Hanzo nerf right there. And then there's a second Hanzo nerf right here. Maximum damage reduced from 125 to 120. Stormbolt damage adjustments in a small but significant change so that heroes with 250 health will not be eliminated from one critical damage shot. We've also updated the sound and visual for when Sonic Arrow initially lands to give nearby enemies more awareness when the ability is used. See how it goes. Honestly, pretty decent changes. Oh, these are the scary ones. These are the spooky changes. Damage per second reduced from 100 to 55, but primary fire is no longer always 40%. Primary fire slow is no longer always 40%, and now scales from 30 to 50%. But primary fire impacts now build up to a slowing effect that sticks to the enemy target for 1.5 seconds and slows them up to 75%. It sticks and slows them for 75 seconds. Not up to, it does for 75%. Secondary fire impacts can detonate this slow effect, dealing an additional 40 damage. So basically, if Mei walks up to you and starts freezing you, she slows you originally for 30 to 50% until this impact builds up on you for a few seconds, and then it sticks to you for 1.5 seconds, slows you for 75%, and then if she hits you with the icicle, will also detonate it, and so we'll do the icicle damage plus an additional 40 damage. So I wouldn't be surprised if we're going into a slow meta. But that just sounds like ass for tank players to play against. Good luck. Good luck, my brothers. This set of changes is intended to bring back some of the gameplay and feeling of Mei's primary fire. used to have previously, though without the hard crowd control of a full freeze stun. Yeah. I'm starting to wonder why the 2 in Overwatch 2 ever became a thing. Reaper, Wraith form. This is interesting. Wraith form can no longer be activated by mobility locking effects, magnetic grenades, steel trap, graviton surge. Reaper and Moira's changes are addressing the inconsistency of the interaction of Wraith form or fade with mobility locking effects such as Junkrat's steel trap, Sigma's gravitic flux, Zarya's graviton surge, and Cassidy's magnetic grenade. They are now disabled similarly to Tracer's recall or Sombra's translocator, which are abilities that also phase out and can move the player. Tracer, pulse pistols, spread increased by 15%. Just a straight nerf. We uncovered a bug that was setting Tracer's maximum weapon spread. Wait, hang on, what? We uncovered a bug that was setting Tracer's maximum weapon spread smaller than intended. We'll be monitoring the results of this one closely, as fixing it may have a significant impact on her overall effectiveness. Widowmaker, Widow's Kiss. This is the big one. This is what everyone's been really, really upset about. Widow's Kiss. Scoped shot damage fall off mid-max range reduced from 70 to 100 to 40 to 60 meters. That is a massive drop off. Scope shot maximum damage fall off scalar increased from 30 to 50%. So Widow's effective range has been dumpstered. I mean, I think she'll still be like pretty okay. Like, but man, those are some big changes. These changes to Widowmaker's weapon fall off are intended to reduce her one-shot capabilities on maps with extremely long sightlines. So like your Junker Towns, your Circuit Royales, etc. The average range to still eliminate a 200 HP health hero at full health is around 50 meters. A fully charged critical shot will still eliminate 150 health targets regardless of range. Pretty big Widow changes, but now we got this last one, which is kind of hilarious because I wonder if it even will make them good. There's one of them I think will make them good, but general overall, the petal ornaments on his back have had their size and hit volume reduced by 10%. So that's not an overall 10%, that's just the petals on his back, which is definitely a good change because his hitbox is way too big for a support character. However, though, I'm not sure if 10% is enough. We'll see. Healing Blossom. Maximum healing increased from 65 to 75, so like the normal heal. Thorn Volley, his damage per projectile increased from 5 to 6. Projectile radius increased from 0.1 to 0.125, and the ammo's increased from 60 to 70. That's not all. There's just straight number buffs across the table. Pedal platform walkable area increased by 15%. Area to trigger lift now shrinks from a radius of 2 to 0.75 meters after initial placement. So, in my opinion, that was probably to change how like you'd put down a pedal platform and then one of your teammates would randomly walk by it and just like trigger it, and you're like, well, that's not all though. Life Grip, cooldown reduced from 20 to 16 seconds, and now heals the ally target for 50 health. And then lastly, Tree of Life ultimate cost increased by 8%. So let's read the comments. Dev comments, Lifeweaver stats have been improving over time, but he is still underperforming. These adjustments are primarily straightforward improvements to nearly every aspect of his kit outside of his ultimate ability, which received a small cost adjustment for increased healing and damage output. The pedal platform area shrinking is quite a quality of life change, intended to help avoid accidentally activating the lift after it has been placed. And then the last change for characters is Moira, the same one as Reaper, where it can no longer be activated while affected by mobility locking effects, such as magnetic grenade, steel trap, and graviton surge. Same thing for Reaper. Basically, if you're in a trap, you cannot use your fade. Also, quick note on the Lifeweaver thing. I talked about this like right when Lifeweaver like came out, and like we all were like, "Oh shit, he's really not that good." He just feels really clunky, and I'm really nervous about just buffing all of his numbers until eventually something happens, because I feel like that's how you eventually break a hero. You know what I mean? Like, he's still gonna be clunky and not that fun to play, I don't think. But man, they're just the number, like, This is straight up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 buffs. 8 buffs and 1 okay nerf and 1 like the smallest nerf I've ever seen. So like an 8-to-1 ratio is kind of nuts, and I don't even know if it'll even be good, to be honest. But anyways, though, that's it for character changes. Now there's like some general bug fixes as well, and like audio and maps and stuff like that. But I don't think there's anything big in here. Yeah, I don't think so.